All right. Triple Jump and the Hound are actually kind of in the middle of the park because you guys were bringing Boy Scout back to the van because Boy Scout showed up and started to confess. And you're really sure that Scoop, Maria Rodriguez, heard his confession that he's the one that killed Bambi. Uh, Triple Jump, you had him after a failed jump, teleportation to the van. You were able to start hustling out of there, and as you as quite quickly and quietly as possible reached to handcuff him. His powers of danger sense basically went off, realized what you were doing, and was able to beat you to the punch and dart off into the crowd. He's not too far away as of yet, but he's starting to knock people down, running away from you. The Hound turned towards Maria to confront her about either what she heard or maybe try and cut a deal with her. And as he turned, she had possibly made it no more than 5 feet into the crowd and inexplicably just blended in with the crowd. He's just standing there going like, "Where'd she go?" Lilac, with a by herself, as Weaver had to go into the station to try and maybe reach out to the lawyers to talk about the information that you guys found out. You pull up on the let's see, is this gonna be a marked cruiser or an unmarked cruiser? What do you think your normal mode of travel is? Or I guess what would you prefer it to be right now?
Unmarked.
You-
I would go
Okay,
unmarked more often than not.
okay, because the van is definitely unmarked. That you guys have all the
Unmarked, but like the vehicle license plate number is like obviously something if you look that closely.
okay, sure,
In my hometown, you always knew the unmarked vehicles because the license plate was like G and then just numbers. You knew it was a government vehicle.
yeah, okay, perfect. Yeah, that's for folks that are not in the Midwest. That's a pretty common practice for for our unmarked spy vehicles. They're still marked. Um, so we'll go with that. Okay, perfect. And you're just pulling up into the parking lot. You're starting to see the scene is starting to get ugly. Now, for each of you, a couple bottles are being hurled over from between the mutant and the anti-mutants groups in the parking lot, and you see this happen, Lilacs. It doesn't matter to me what order you guys want to go in. Just volunteer, and I'll have you tell me what your character looks like and what are they frantically trying to get done. You know what? I'm going to choose the Hound to go first because you're in more of the neutral position because you could go either way. Oh, you're muted.
Darn microphone. There we go. Okay, so Maria just disappeared and triple jumps off at the van. I probably wouldn't see that his little altercation, would I?
Yeah, you can still be close enough to see that because you kind of tracked where he was going. Now, I will tell you because you have a very specific superpower. Your
Hmm.
olfactory sense still tells you that Maria is still close by.
Ah, okay. Could I track her down then?
Yeah, you can try. Let's take a look here. Oh, you have tracking the superpower tracking. Okay.
I do, yeah.
Well, this might be a lot easier than to do than I was hoping for. All right, let's look up tracking. Okay.
Basically, I think I can always find them depending on how far they are and how many points I want to spend.
Mm-hmm.
but then they can do things to try to drag it out. And if they go longer than the amount of points, then I'll lose them.
Yeah, I'm going to say spend 1 point from tracking combined with olfactory, and you think you can narrow it down.
Okay, let's do that.
Okay. You spend it and you dive deeper into the crowd of the pro mutants, and your senses are afire with all these like kind of different smells of different crowd and people. But Maria Rodriguez always smells a little bit, has like the ink from newspaper print that kind of traces on her. And you get closer and get to an area where you're going to have to do a composure check
Okay.
because you look up and you're like, she is right here, but you do not see her.
Can I do a composure check if I have 0 composure left?
Absolutely. Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. Okay, now I get to use my ability though. I'll roll first since you don't have any pluses, so I'll just keep it honest.
Okay.
Oh!
Gotcha.
You can
Uh,
get her with a 5 or a 6.
no.
Woofda. All right, maybe this is a game we can play all night. So you just, as you get
Track
close,
her down.
just spend a point on tracking and just be like, is it here?
Where is she?
You feel like you're standing right on top of her, but you just look around and you just don't recognize any face that would be yours.
Okay.
And can you tell me what your character looks like while you're doing that?
Oh yeah, yeah. The Hound is a Caucasian male, a little on the shorter side, with green eyes and a particularly stocky build. His cue of being a mutant would be if he's not wearing a hat, you'll see that he has brown and white fur instead of hair on his head.
Is he wearing a hat right now?
Yes, right now he'd be wearing a hat.
Okay, perfect. And let's go triple jump.
Triple Jump is a lanky, mid-20s Caucasian male. I think he has like dyed black hair, uh, some sort of rock and roll T-shirt, jeans. Uh, his badge is on his lanyard, but he phases once in a while. So you can like see that like static, like all of a sudden, like woof. He's certainly a mutant. Uh, and depending on what's happening, he might phase more than not. Right now, he's phasing like hell because dude like broke away from him and ran into the crowd. Right? Is that where he's at right now?
Yeah, exactly right. And I need to apologize for last session. I need to give you 2 points back to your
For what?
teleportation.
Oh,
I,
okay.
I set the wrong rank, and I think due to that disparity, you missed the check when you shouldn't have. But we've gone too far. So here's my form of apology. Sorry.
Very good.
Teleportation is
Yes.
not an easy power to figure out.
No, it's yeah, it can be pretty kind of a big deal either way, right? Uh so right now he's in the van and Boy Scout like ran into the crowd. Is that where I'm at with him?
Yeah, you were right by the van and you're about to put the handcuffs on him. He sensed what you were doing and bolts into the crowd. He is not super far away from you. We can
Okay.
do our first chase scene if you want.
Yes,
Yeah.
I think we should.
Okay, here. Let me tell you how it works mechanically for chases, and this works for all chases, car chases, running races, whatever sort of chase it is. I'm gonna pull up the right thing. Page. If you want to follow along at home, is page 96. Okay, you chase until failure. not by who rolls better. Okay.
Okay.
So what I do is like, okay, we're gonna start the chase. It's going to be, since we're doing it on foot, it's going to be athletics. Okay. Now you have a movement power, so you get to cheat, right? Basically during this.
Right.
All right. So the difficulty number is usually 4. Now, there are things that you can choose to do while you're running or chasing each other to try and make those numbers higher or lower as you're going narratively. But you might have to do a mechanic check to make it harder. Like, well, I want to hop over this wall while I'm running. Like, okay, well, it's gonna be another probably athletics check, but then that'll raise how hard it is to get chased, right? But you're chasing someone else. And right now, he's just gone into the crowd. So what we can do is it's just a straight up D6 to start. You're only trying to beat a 4. I have to pull up the athletics for Boy Scout. Give me a second.
Mm-hmm.
And just for people that may be watching this at home, Boy Scout is a previously made character of mine. That, of course, is somewhere else. There we go. All right. While we're waiting, you can also notice if you take a look at the sheets, is that you now have a nifty map. Oh, and I can't find it. Okay, I know where I'm just gonna put it at 10. Okay. All right. He was Boy Scout. Okay. I'm going to spend 2. That's what I'm gonna do. So D6 plus 2. Remember, not trying to beat each other, just trying to not fail. Whew. All right, I succeeded. Now, if you want, you can use your teleportation as part of your pool for athletics. Okay. You can also just make a normal teleportation jump and just like, I want to jump up there. Now that's a bigger expenditure cost, but that'll get you, if you succeed, it'll get you where you need to go.
Yeah. There's a lot of people right immediately around us, correct?
Correct.
But I can see him.
Yes. Yep. You can see the back of his head.
I'd like to do earth control instead.
Okay. Okay. What's that look like and what exactly are we doing?
So I want to cause a tremor that is localized that kind of causes everybody to like fall prone.
Okay.
The
All
little
right.
earthquake. A little tiny earthquake.
Yeah. Oh no, I love it. Okay, so we want to do an earthquake. On a successful earth control test, difficulty 4, you cause a small localized earth tremor to radiate outwards from any point within range. The tremor strikes a roughly circular area centered on your chosen point. The default diameter of this circle is 3 meters. You may attempt to affect a larger area by testing against a higher difficulty of +1 for each additional meter in diameter. The affected area must be composed primarily of sand or soil, which it is. That's fine. We're at an outdoor park, so perfect. Okay. The tremor is strong enough to damage architecture supports, cause unsecured objects to fall, and possibly shatter and throw people to the ground. Anyone in the zone, including yourself, must make an athletics test against the same difficulty as the earth control test. Those who fail are knocked off their feet and take damage, d6 minus 2. So, what do you want to pump into this?
So in theory, I just want to uh, do that 3 meter circle
Okay.
where I'm on the outside of it because I think he's probably just far enough away, probably.
Yeah, that's fine. You can figure it out.
Slightly ahead of him, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
And I just want to do that circle. I don't want to pump anymore because I don't want to really damage anything. But I do want to throw people to their feet.
Okay. All right. So does this mean you can just do this for free? Oh no, you still have to roll, right?
Yeah, I still have to roll for
You
the.
s- So you still have to do a test, but you don't have to spend any points. Is that what we're reading here?
No, I think. Well, no. Well,
I th
difficulty 4 is what it says at the top.
yeah,
Earthquake and then difficulty 4.
yeah. That's for you to roll, though.
Yeah,
So
so I
if
have to
you,
roll a 4 or higher,
yeah, yep.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's the only thing I'm rolling against, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. So I think you can pump points into it if you want to add to your
So I have
roll.
2 points in Earth control. So I'm going to roll 1d6 plus 2,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
It's a 4.
Okay. Hey, those 2 points well spent. You made it. All right. So then now I have to do an additional check. So he's going to be 1 unit further ahead of you, unless he gets knocked down here, right? But it does have to spend athletic points to try and stay, which I am going to do. I'm going to spend 2. So D6 plus 2. Okay. So I succeeded. Um, so the chase is still on. In fact, I'm 1 further away from you. However, the area around him where you had it kind of locked down, a lot of just normal people, normal bystanders get thrown to the ground. Some of them are injured. You hear kind of a general wail kind of go out as Boy Scout just kind of holds his ground just for a second. We'll say he is already 1 ahead because he succeeded. But he stops to stop himself from getting thrown to the ground and starts to continue. So then I'm going to do another check here. And if I get 1 more away or get 2 more away, then I am gone. Okay, so I succeeded my athletics check.
Now I'm going to try to teleport again.
Okay.
Do I have to beat the 5?
No, so I'm going to give you a difficulty number,
Okay.
which because you knocked all those people down, you have a target that you can see. Okay, so you
Yep.
can see the destination unaided 0. Um, okay, so yeah, it's only difficulty 3.
Okay. Here goes. 7.
Okay, now I imagine, tell me where you're teleporting. What does it look like, and what are you trying to accomplish here?
I want to teleport so that he almost runs into me, and I have the handcuffs, and I'm like ready to like snap him on his wrist.
Okay, so you're getting ready to scuffle as soon as you pop there, and I'll give you I get a surprise on him where he won't be able to defend himself. Perfect. All right, as your body shimmers and you almost kind of glitch out and like, before appearing in front of him, as he's kind of looking over his shoulder, kind of drunkenly trying to get away as fast as possible, and just slams right into you. Lilacs, you knew with the crowds getting together that something was just felt bad in the area. You see
Mhm.
you see a group of 4, we'll say 3 kind of, you're guessing from their builds because they're all wearing ski masks. Okay. They're all wearing ski masks. 3 guys kind of start crossing the parking lot and they're all carrying hockey sticks and they're pointing out at one of the mutants from the crowd that's trying to boo them and tell them to go away, who you recognize as Gremlin. His leathery skin and bald head and like pointed ears as he's wearing a very artsy beret and an olive green button down shirt. As he's like, "You tough guys, you don't need to be here. This is a moment of peace and silence." And they're just like, "Well, we'll make sure that you're going to be silent," as they're just like hitting their sticks as they're uh, stalking him. What do you want to do, Lilacs?
What do I think they're trying to accomplish by being threatening like this?
What? I'm sorry, the camera gave out or something. What was that?
Oh, what do I think they're trying to accomplish by being
You think they?
threatening and
Yeah, you think
intimidating
what
people
they're trying to accomplish is beat the hell out of Gremlin.
out of Gremlin? Okay. I don't think I'm good at intervening in something like that. So, check Wax. I don't know her as well.
Sure.
I didn't expect this part of it. Um, I was wondering if now my because Lilac, one of her abilities is to detect influence and one to suppress influence, and I didn't know, do I feel like that would be an appropriate time to use that? Like, do I think they're some type of influence, or do I think they're being who they're being, or who they
It
are?
is, you can use your skill if you have the skill, or you can use your power. If you use the power, oh, you don't even have the skill. If you use your power, you can just spend a point and just know.
Right. Is there a reason they would be under influence to do this at this moment?
The crowds are getting really
Maybe I was
ugly.
going to use it on somebody else. But if the crowds are getting ugly, then they're just doing it anyway. Um, in that case, yeah, I was thinking I was totally going to use that on somebody else. But let's see. Um, really don't have anything good for this. Not good at intervening. Can I just do something like it's threatening? Is that like to be like, whoa, back off, folks? Like, this is not your place. Like towards the four guys with hockey sticks and ski masks to be
Yeah.
like,
So
hey,
it's
you should just back off.
okay. Yeah, it's gonna just I lowered it to three guys instead of four. Just three guys. Yeah. So you
Fine,
want to get out
three
of your
guys.
car and forcibly get yourself in between.
It's probably not good for my character, but I think that's yes, that's what I'm going to
Okay.
do.
Yeah. Great.
What would that be? Like a scuffling or a? I already sense there's trouble. I don't think I need to do a
Oh
sense
yeah.
trouble check.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, so what are you trying to do here? Like, so then take a look at the interpersonal skills, right? What do you have and see if any of them match for what you want to try and do.
I
You have
don't.
cop talk.
I have cop talk is the only interpersonal skill I have.
Yeah. Okay. You want to do some cryptology on them and like tell them a puzzle? Like what? Now, here's the deal though, is that you're still a police officer, right? An agent because you're
Right.
part of the mutant of it, but you are a law enforcement person. So you can just put yourself in front of them if you want to. If you do not, I'm telling you right now, they're walking forward and they're going to take a swing.
Right. Um, I have no skills for this current scenario. Um, and so I was wondering if like a scuffling, but that wouldn't be like intimidation. That would be like, I'm straight up going to tackle you right now.
Yep.
And that does not work. Um, which I guess would cop talk, like I know cop talk is typically to be like between cops,
It's cop to cop. Yep.
but to even just like say like I'm a cop, like hold up a badge, like does that count? To try to be like back off. There
Okay.
are official. That'd be more like bureaucracy, wouldn't it? To try to like pull that to them.
It. You tell me what you're gonna do. It sounds like you're getting out of the car. You're pulling out your badge, and
Yeah, I
you're
think I
gonna.
am. I think
Okay.
I'm gonna regret it, but I think I am.
Yeah, you might catch
So
a hockey stick, but who knows? Okay.
yeah,
So you get out. You say, "I'm a cop," and they stop for half a second and look at each other.
back off.
And I never, in this game, because it's Gumshoe, we never need to roll dice for randomness. Everything is pretty well mapped out for stuff like this. There's even an
Cool.
emotion wheel that they have in the game, which is really cool. But I want to use this because you hear, you catch this. It is your only interpersonal skill that you have. One of the guys in the back says to the first one, "Hey, is this a 320?" And you're like, "Holy these are cops."
Hey. Um, I guess have I used my action to get out of the car and present my badge?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, you've gotten out there and they've stopped. They are trying to figure out what to do in their cop shorthand. You overhear it. You know they're cops.
Sure. Okay. Can I ask a quick question that
Yes.
maybe you covered in your recap? But why do I care about Gremlin?
He's an innocent
Is Gremlin
bystander?
relevant to their story?
No. No, just an
Okay,
innocent
just
bystander.
checking if there was like a specific, like he was part of the story that I totally forgot.
No,
Okay,
there's no
great.
plot here. There's
I
no
want to
no.
protect innocent bystanders.
Yep.
100%. I just want to make sure I wasn't forgetting something that like was really obvious that we care
No,
about
there's
Gremlin
no
because
there's no extra
okay,
clue
he's
here. No.
innocent. He's innocent. That's why we care.
Okay. So what I'm going to do,
Fine.
I'm going to leave you there because they're in this moment of stopping. Like, what the? All right, Hound. You are now completely befuddled, bewildered, and maybe a little determined. I'm not quite sure. What are you going to
Yeah, I'm not used to people dodging me. I'm gonna keep tracking her.
do? Dogged and relentless. Love it. All right, spend another track point.
Okay.
Okay. I am running out of points to do this. So D6 plus 2. This is it. This is the last of it. Oh, I got 3.
All right. Oh, well, baby, I got a three as well.
All right, you win. You guys win ties. Um, you she doubled back on you as you're trying to lose the scent, but you caught the end of it because of your olfactory, and you go back to the original spot where you're at, and you look up, and you're like, "Oh my God, she's right there!" Like she might have been standing there the whole time. As your gaze comes up, and you're sniffing, and you're tracking, and you focus in on her. She looks up, and she's just like, "Oh no." Hey, I didn't hear anything. Okay. She
Why
is
were you running?
shocked and scared that you were able to find her. She's like, "Hey, look, I didn't overhear anything. I'm sure Boy Scout just had, you know what? Boy Scout wasn't even here. Okay. I don't even know who that person is. If you just let me go, I won't say anything. Okay.
I haven't threatened you with anything. Why are you so nervous?
You can smell coming off of her just waves of fear of you. And she's like, look, hey, look, I know how tight you guys are. I don't know. I don't need to know anything. I, I'll leave the city. I'll just move. That's fine. There's lots of newspapers out there, okay? And she's trying to back up slowly, but she seems to be very cognizant that she is not in the best shape of her life.
Got it.
And you are a trained officer.
Oh man, really like reassurance here, but yeah, Alan's more of a chaser, not a talker. Oh boy. I just like to look at her and say, you know, hey, this is part of an open investigation. We would appreciate if you don't say anything until we've concluded it, but I'm not threatening you.
Okay. Now, at this point in time, you have felt a tremor coming from over the direction of where Triple Jump was at. Do people know that you have that Earth control power?
Yeah, I think they do.
Okay. So you know that Triple Jump has used his power as an earthquake over there. As she just like kind of stumbles around and goes to one knee. She's like, "Oh my God, what's going on?" And she now like you tell her that you're not going to hurt her, so she is looking like she's less like, "Oh my God," but she's like, "Well, what's going to happen?"
We are planning on concluding our investigation and we'll go from there. I know, not all the cops on the force have the best reputation, but at least some of us do try to follow procedure.
Her whole demeanor starts to change. She's like, "You gotta let me talk to him. Give me the story. Give me the story."
We'll give you the story if you stay quiet until we finish our investigation. But if you will keep it on the down low until we finish up, I will promise you the first interview.
Yeah, that's what you said about the Goose Wilson case with the Eschings being involved, and then you gave that information to another media. How can I trust you?
Side
No,
note, did we do that? I don't recall doing that.
yes, that totally happened.
Okay. That might have been the week I
You,
was gone.
yeah, I think that was like a long time ago, but yeah, you told her you wouldn't tell anyone else about what's going on, like with the Eschings, that they might be connected to it somehow for like 24 hours or whatever. And then like two or three scenes later, you're like, oh, we think the Eschings have something to do with it. And the person's like, oh, okay. And then they talk to a person, then it,
Yeah. Carry.
yeah, yeah.
Uh, can I use negotiate here?
Yeah. What do you got?
Um, what would she want that I could give her? Do I have any idea?
Well, she's already gotten the tour that Laura Barnes had to give her
Yep.
that she was not
Yep.
happy about.
Yeah, that was the last thing I
Um,
remember negotiating with her.
to sit on the story, you'll have to like you gotta give her something big because she's got something, right? And she knows she's got something. Um, maybe how about a way in? How about a way in? Look, I don't like dealing with dirty cops. I don't want you to be dirty. I want you guys to be the good guys. Okay? But the next national story, you call me first.
It's a deal.
Okay? Okay? Okay. 24 hours. 24 hours. All right, triple jump. Boy Scout has just plowed into you, but you were ready for it. You were bracing. He was not expecting you. Knocked him off balance. What do you want to do?
Can I use preparedness to taser him? Because I have a taser. I'm going to taser him.
Yep, absolutely. We can do that. Um, so give me. It's not unexpected to grab a taser, so I'm only going to put it at a difficulty of 3. I'll say 4. Why not?
Okay,
Just because there's paperwork involved.
sure.
And I'll tell you why after this. Okay. Yeah. You were waiting with him kind of with open arms with the taser as he bumps into you and you just jam it into his ribs. As his body convulses, he's like recovering from booze. He's still probably drunk. He immediately um, messes himself and just like seizes up and drops to the ground. You've got him. You have one turn to do whatever you want with him.
I'll put his hands behind his back and cuff him.
Okay. All right. You very easily at this point able to cuff him, and he immediately starts crying when he starts coming back around. You're able to get him up to his feet, start heading him back to the van. When he starts crying again, and he just like, kind of starts to try and tell everyone that he killed Bambi. Anyone that will listen, he starts to turn. And he's like, he turns to you first. He's like, I did it. I killed her, man. I killed her. Do you want to do anything about that? Or you just want to get him to the van?
How?
Like people are panicking. Okay, the first Molotov
Yeah,
cocktail is starting to come over.
yeah. Like how concentrated are they on what this one dude's saying? You know what I mean? Like,
Well, he
what
was at
crazy
the
dude?
well. So the part of it is that he was one of the few people standing after a mini earthquake, and then you popped in front of him and tased him. So you have a couple people are observing it, not the whole crowd though,
Okay.
because they're just like, whoa.
Uh,
Now they're fellow mutants, but yeah.
sure. Uh, hmm. Uh, I'm not gonna try to silence him. Uh, Triple Jump might try to do a horrible impression of somebody else to make it look like he's trying to do an impression of what Boy Scout's doing.
All right, so you're trying to do an impression of Boy Scout.
I'm trying to do an impression of Boy Scout, but as a celebrity saying the same thing Boy Scouts say.
Okay, what celebrity?
That's exactly. I mean, I have pop culture like like Christopher Walken. You know what I mean? Like just like
Sure.
just to like throw everything off into like just what the hell is happening. So
Just weirdness.
you,
Give me
yeah,
your best Christopher Walken. Let's go.
you say your Boy Scout thing that you're gonna say, and I'll do my Walken.
I, I killed her. I loved her. Like, I effing killed her.
I killed her. I loved her. I loved her. But I killed her.
All
I
right.
I don't have this ability, but Triple Jump
Yeah,
does.
it's the effort of doing it that makes it worthwhile for me.
Well, you're welcome.
All right.
So
Uh,
I could have
people.
picked an impression that I'm actually good at, but I did not.
Nope, I'm happy you chose this one. Uh, people are definitely confused because they see you doing it too. He's saying it, and you're like, there's just more confusion.
I'll take it.
Lilacs. They seem to be bolstering their resolve. They look like they're going to go through you to get to Gremlin. As the front one says very easily, it's like, you should move, officer. This isn't this isn't for you. This is too big for you.
I would like to open a telepathic link to Gremlin,
Okay.
which takes 2 points. Says takes 2 points of my ability, and I'm gonna tell him get out of the way or get out of here. Or what is his ability again? I just looked at it and I already forgot what it was.
Gremlin?
Get out of here or get ready to do your ability. That's what I was gonna ask, and I already forgot what his ability was. Induce fear. Or
Gremlin
get
can
ready
induce
to make
fear.
him very afraid.
Yep. But you notice he's a power 1 guy, so probably not amazing,
So get
but
out of here,
he
and
could do it.
I will keep these guys away. Yep.
Yeah. Now, I will say, because you're an officer of the law, if you tell him to use his power, he will use it. So you tell me exactly what do you
I
want
am
to
going
happen.
to do that. My concern for him is to keep him safe, and that is
Okay.
by getting him away from what's about to happen.
Okay.
So I'm going to tell him get away. Maybe I didn't need to use my telepathy to do so, but to be like, I'm on your side. Look, I have power too. Is kind of what I'm trying to do.
Yeah. No,
Um,
100%. Yeah, because you're using telepathy, yeah, that gets through to him immediately, and he just kind of looks at you and goes like, "I'll
okay,
get help. I'll get help."
I'll hold him off.
And he
Yes,
he
I'll
darts
hold him
back
off.
darts back towards the vigil, assumably looking for people to help.
And then I think I still have that telepathic link with him for a while, right? Like I
Hmm.
open the link, um, remains active until I shut it down, or for 15 minutes, whichever
Yeah.
is greater.
Yep.
So, I can spend another 2 points, which I don't have left, to maintain it for longer. But I
Okay.
have 15 points, so I'd be like, you know, when you have help coming.
Okay. That's very nice. All right. So do you address
Or I
the
would
three
actually tell him.
people?
I would go tell him to go find my colleagues. I would tell him like look for a guy, and I would like describe my two colleagues that I
Okay.
know are here.
I
Get
am
get them.
okay. So you tell him you concentrate to do that right as you feel a hockey stick.
Great.
Yeah, got a 6. All right. Hit your try to cave in your kneecap.
What I do?
I do 4 points of damage as you feel the hockey stick side of it just crank it right above your left knee as it buckles you down a little bit. Another blow is coming as you try and put your arm up to defend yourself, which I hit on the 4 right. I'm spending 3, so I'm gonna be hitting. So D6 minus 1. Take 3 more.
I'm getting knocked out by a hockey stick right now, and that hits me at 0.
Okay, that's fine. You can go
Knocks me to
negative
0.
in this game. Yep. So you can
Sure
go
can.
very negative actually. But you're in trouble, and you know you're in trouble. The third one starts goes like, "You shouldn't have been here." And Hound.
Okay,
Well,
but he doesn't actually try to hit me.
no, no. All right, I'm gonna jump back to the Hound. You feel like you negotiated with Maria at this point. As you look around, you see Triple Jump uh, escorting Boy Scout back to the van, and you see a mob of people trying to congregate over in that direction. And you see a shorter, very kind of frail looking, but wearing like an olive coat and probably a pink beret. Actually, I said red earlier, but it's probably pink. He comes over and is like, officer, uh, one of, one of your people, they're getting beat up. You're muted.
I'm off the mute game tonight. Okay, I'll quickly be like, which way?
He's like pointing towards the group in the parking lot.
Cool. Can I see it from here?
I mean, you can see there's a group gathering in the parking lot, but you can't get details from this distance. But like you take one turn to get there, and you'll be in the knee deep in it.
Okay, but can I tell there's like some sort of like riotous activity building there?
Oh yeah.
Cool. Are there any geese in this park?
Um, a lot of the wildlife around here is going to be pretty well scared away from what's happening. But you know what? Geese are cantankerous, or so sure.
Yeah, there's some mean animals. I
Yeah.
would like to use my control mammals to induce the geese to go ahead and attack anyone in the parking lot. I just want to cause chaos and see if we can't disperse some people with a herd of angry geese.
I I love it. Okay. Animals train for we can. What I don't like about this is that it doesn't tell you how many points you spend, right?
It doesn't. It also doesn't tell me what my range is.
That's infuriating. Okay. So within the limits of
I
their
can.
instinctual behavior, yeah, they will bite with their actual weird pointy teeth. So we'll just treat it as like I'm gonna make up the DC for it. DC 4? Because they probably don't charge into combat all that often. They usually like
Yeah,
give me the bread sort of deal. So you can spend points off of your power pool to do better at it. Okay.
let's do it.
Okay. Now you have a small flock of geese now just attacking indiscriminately everyone that's in the parking lot.
Yep. And then
Okay.
I'll head that way with anything I have left.
Okay, perfect. You get there in time. So you took two turns there, basically. Pardon me one second.
Hmm.
You charge over there. The scene as it's unfolding in front of you is you see Lilacs just taking a beat down from three men wearing ski masks and hockey sticks. The crowd behind them is getting very much emboldened by their actions as moving across the parking lot. However, they're being cut off by a small flock of geese. They're trying to nip and like peck at their feet and their thighs, and it's like kind of pushing them kind of off to one side, going like crazy geese. As you're getting ready to take the next action, well, you'll be able to aid Lilacs, but it is triple jumps action. You've made it back to the van at this point.
I want to handcuff him to some part of the inside of the van.
Yep, not a problem. Done.
Uh, shut the doors, lock the doors.
Done.
I want to get on some sort of surveillance, like the drones that I had,
Yes.
and see what the hell's going on from that if I can.
Okay. You get up the drones and you start lifting them up higher. And from that vantage point, as you're searching around, because of the two bonfires have been lit, you see another group of people coming up from behind the anti-mutant protesters, which you recognize as High Roller and his gang.
Great.
Yep. There's a couple other maybe smaller gangs that are coming from the other direction too, to protect, to kind of oversee what's going on here. All right, Lilacs. Gremlin, you hear from the telepathic bond that you have with Gremlin is like, the furry agent, he'll be on his way.
Read it. Uh, and then I am going to. I mean, I'm probably gonna pull my gun, right? Like,
I don't know, are you?
that'll be threatening. I'll be like, hey, you have a hockey stick. I got a gun. I promise I'm good at using it.
Okay. So
I'm
you
not. I have 2 points for that.
okay, so you pull your gun.
But I'm going to try to convince them I'm going to bluff that I'm really good at this. Yes, I do pull my gun.
Okay, you pull your guns. Um but you're not going to shoot. So I'll give you an action to do something else. Or are you going to shoot? Like, are you going to say something and just pull the gun?
No,
Or
I would prefer not to.
okay,
No, I'm just gonna say something and pull my gun and say, I don't believe this. Something along the lines of like, I don't think this is a sanctioned um work scenario. Rachel's really good at cop talk, but Dan is great at cop talk.
yes, Lila,
Whatever a
yeah,
cop would say to try to.
yes, she is very good at cop talk. She knows how to talk to other cops. So you address them as police officers now.
I'm like, this is not no. Yes, I do, and I say, this is not, or this is my jurisdiction, and please get away from my case.
Okay. So
This
you
case is fine
use
for good reason, and I use whatever bureaucratic
cop
cop talk
talk stuff that you
say
got.
back
Yeah,
off
okay.
my
Pull your gun,
case.
use cop talk on them. Okay. One of them's gonna be like, oh, shoot.
Will report to your superior. Know who your superior is, or I can find out.
Okay. Goes like, oh, Lauren, she knows we're cop. And the other one like pops him immediately. It's like they start backing up. They're like, all right, you're lucky this time. And they seem to be shook by
You're the one
the
who's lucky.
ooh.
I know you are, but what am I?
As they start backing up, like they've got some of your blood on their hockey sticks. As they start backing up, it's like, all right, well, all right. So they just back up. They start to disperse back into the crowd. Now, this puts us in a weird situation, right? I'm going to say all three of you can now work in concert together at this point because you have earphones with each other, you have stuff like that. The crowd, the anti-mutant crowd, is starting to disperse a bit, but you're afraid that if the actual gangs, the high roller gangs, get there, the other smaller gangs, that it's going to just turn into turf warfare. Tell you what, you guys talk amongst each other. I'm
So
going to.
we're all working together right now, right? Yeah.
Well, you're
We're
not
all able to be
like
involved in this conversation, right?
you and the Hound are next to each other. Triple Jump is in the van with the surveillance equipment, but you're all
Sure. But we
connected
have,
with earpieces and whatnot. You can
yeah,
talk
we
to
have
each other.
Gremlin connected to
Yes, and
us.
you have Gremlin too. All right, I'm gonna go make a
Instead
drink.
of
You guys
using
talk.
to just radio my colleagues, I said Gremlin, go get them.
Yeah.
Hey, it worked.
Honestly, didn't cross my mind that I could just radio you guys. I
Yeah.
legitimately thought like, you gotta go get them for me. It never
That's,
crossed my mind that I have a walkie-talkie.
that's okay.
I mean, not normally something you can do in most RPGs.
Right. So what's our number one thing we want to do
If
right?
we had a walkie-talkie, like the telepathic link was the important thing with Gremlin. Was for me like one of you here.
I think we mostly just want to keep this from turning into a out and out riot, which it's progressing
Bloodbath.
towards. Yeah.
But any chance to be able to get a ID on a murder
Yeah, I
suspect?
mean,
Probably is not a thing.
if we could get that, great. But yeah, I feel like that's probably a lower priority and lower possibility.
Right. Are the both of you safe right now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I mean, I'm hurting. I feel really bad right now. I have been hit by multiple hockey sticks, and it really hurts.
Okay.
But I am emotional.
I'm in the van. I can tear ass across the park and try to like pick you guys up or distract the gangs or something.
Do you want to turn the lights on the van?
Like, want me to turn the cherries on?
Yeah, make it official presence. See if we can make people think twice.
You can also
Yeah.
call in backup too.
Also, probably not a bad idea.
Would they show up?
In
though?
time? No. Spoiler alert, no.
I didn't think we had anybody that was willing to help us. So,
Here's a question. Okay, so I activate my detect influence ability or my power, my mutant
hmm
power.
hmm
I can't understand from the description of if I can kind of just like look around and see who's been affected. Like, can I look around or do I have to pick one person?
You have to pick one person. Now, previously, your character has been used on Boy Scout, and it gave off uh, a certain color, and Boy Scout was possessed. Like you guys know 100% that he was possessed.
Sorry, I'm just reading the instructions again. And I was just I was reading the rules on that one again. So
Yeah, not a problem.
are you sure it says any individual in my line of sight? So technically,
Oh,
but I
okay.
have to pick an individual that I can
Uh,
see, and then okay, that makes sense. That's what I couldn't interpret that. I honestly was
sure.
looking at it and I was like, I just say I look around and anybody in my line of sight's affected reveals themselves.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I will say it's probably low that anyone's affected right now. I think these are just anti-mutant thugs looking to beat on
Agreed.
people.
Agreed. I was just like, if I could just glance around and see if anybody's affected, that feels like it could be relevant information.
Yeah,
But
that's fair.
I can't. So,
So triple jump, you want to throw the lights on and keel over to the parking lot where
yeah.
the disturbance is happening? Just try to put an official police presence on this and see if we can cool things down.
sure.
And I'm going to use my telepathic link to Gremlin to say, just like, work on clearing things out. We don't want this to become a bloodbath. Get out whoever you can. Tell them
Yep.
to leave.
And this is all going to end up peacefully. How this works out is that Gremlin lets Reese know, Sin Eater, and Sin Eater starts organizing people very calmly, very collectively to exit and get out of the park from on the mutant side. From the other direction, once you turn on the cherries and get into the parking lot, the would-be rioters start to lose a lot of their bite because it is an official police presence. But word is already starting to come up is that there's mutant gangs coming from the other direction. And where it once was just a bunch of helpless um, people in mourning, now it's getting a lot more serious. There's police here. There are gang members showing up who actually do know how to fight. And so, yeah, people actually start kind of dissipating as quickly as possible. Even before the gangs kind of get there, there's some like minor altercations. Um, but they generally come out. At this point, the gangs are going to take over and just kind of patrol the park for a little bit. Is there anything that you guys want to do at the end of the scene?
I want to keep my drones still on the park
Okay.
and still recording
Okay.
for as long as I can.
Yeah, it's shockingly not that long. But like for another hour or two, it's fine.
Sure.
Within the 15 minutes that I have this link up, Gremlin, I'm just gonna say thank you for your help, and love to talk to you if
Oh,
you have some time. And I tell him coffee shop in a time. Like, I just want
Okay.
to chat with him about like if he has heard any rumblings about is my ultimate goal. I don't tell him that in the telepathy, but I'm just like, hey, I've made this alliance, I've made this connection. I'd like to see if he has heard any rumblings about who may be involved in Bambi's murder.
Like
So
with
I give him a coffee shop and a time. Yeah.
okay.
The next
Okay.
morning, I say, hey, I'd love to talk to you a little more and thank you for, and I would like him like as a thank you for his help in clearing the crowds and all that, and for getting my colleague and all of
Oh,
that.
Cindy dear, is that here
Um,
but Reese or Gremlin?
or whoever my
Gremlin.
telepathy link is. That's
Gremlin.
Gremlin, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Right.
Okay.
And just say, hey, I'd love to buy you coffee. Thank you for your help. But I would like to ask him if he has heard any rumblings from anybody about what actually happened.
Oh, okay. Okay. Sure.
So that's my purpose. My purpose in buying him coffee is that I would like
Yeah.
to
Not,
ask him
not
questions,
a
but also
problem.
tell him
So
that
to yes, to end this scene, you're saying, "Hey, Gremlin, I want to talk to you later." He's like, "All right, cool." You know where I'm at? He actually has a little art boutique that he runs. Um, so the other two, you guys want anything you want to do to at the end of the scene?
Yeah, can I just walk through the crowd? I was at the crime scene earlier today. Can I use my olfactory center and see if I recognize anyone's scent as having been around the crime scene earlier?
Yeah, you can 100% do that. No, no.
Okay.
With this rush of bodies, though,
Hmm.
like no, you really don't have a good idea here.
Okay.
Like you'd have to be standing on top of them at this point. So,
Got it.
okay, manage to disperse the crowd, and you have you have Boy Scout in your possession. It is about midnight. You're in the van. What are your next steps?
I mean,
Like, what do you do with Boy Scouts? My main question here.
Yeah.
we gotta take him in, right? I know that. I don't know what uh Brickhouse said, but come on, what are we supposed to do with this guy?
Yeah, we probably do need to take him in. I mean, he was involved with the murder. He'll probably get off free because, we did detect possession on him, but I think we still need to bring him in if for no other reason than to keep him from causing a ruckus.
Is there a way we can make sure that he doesn't like keep him secure, like keep him safe? Like if he didn't if he wasn't like the one who planned this murder, if the person that was there, if they know something, they might want to try to like take care of him, right?
Yep. So, in your new fancy facilities of the HCIU that you guys were just got built last year for you guys, basically, is that you have three different holding cells. Okay, you've got like your drunk tank for mutants. Remember, mutants and normals don't intermix, right? So you got your drunk tank for mutants, you got your security cells, and then you've got your two solitary, which are like 5 feet, 5 feet thick of, lead, stuff you can't phase through or teleport or whatever down there as well. So you can throw him into one of them.
Yeah, let's put him in solitary, man. I don't know. Uh, He's obviously scared. He doesn't know what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, we'll need to talk to the sergeant about it. He might have want to have final say on what's done with them. I
Yeah,
don't think we can just check him in without telling her anything.
okay, yeah. If you want to talk to her, I've never talked to her.
How have you never talked to the sergeant?
I've been in the room, but I never talked to her.
Well, maybe that's time to change this. You're not going to get anywhere if the higher ups don't know your face.
Yeah, exactly. I don't have to go anywhere if the higher ups never see my face.
Fair enough. Each their own.
You guys make it back to the stations just fine. And you like kind of throw a coat over Boy Scout. Now it's past midnight though when you're bringing them in. There's not many people around. If you want to take a look, if we go to the new city map that I now have on there. Ooh, ah, you guys were right around the number 2 over there. That is Preserve Park, and you managed to go. Whoa there! Someone made it big. Who did that?
I increased the size.
Oh no! All right. Okay, so the number 2 is Preserve Park. Um, and then if you go down like where the number 4 is at, that is where the station's at. Okay, it's ballpark. So you make the trip back down there. It's like 1 in the morning at this point. Easily get them in there, get them booked. There's going to be paperwork done. It's going to be a Thursday morning. Okay, so do tell me what you do with your characters. Do you let them finish up the paperwork there and then let them go to bed and bring in your other characters, or do you just ride these guys for the next through the next morning till noon the next day? Now, if you continue playing these guys, that means they don't get to heal anything.
Triple Jump will finish off his shift, and Brickhouse will come back in.
Okay.
Same.
Alex got a heal.
Okay.
So
So,
out for a little bit, and then we'll jump in at her shift.
all right. So we're now
I
at
can't remember at this exact moment.
night nurse.
Thank you. I was like, her name is Jody. I know that. I couldn't think of her code name.
Okay. Perfect. All right. So we're gonna go to
So
Thursday morning,
used to
guys.
regular names.
You finish up the the paperwork. You talk with Sergeant Barnes in the morning of just like what the hell's going on here. Now you switch over to the next morning with 3 basically new characters. Everyone basically has all their points back. Um, and at noon today is when the warrant goes through for going to um, the think of it, the Euphoria labs. Remember that at all? Yep. And so you'll have a choice to make once that warrant comes through, whether you use that warrant to go to Euphoria offices to talk with the president of Euphoria and like seize like computers and stuff like that. Or you use that to go into the laboratories. Now, if you get one and you find criminal evidence, then you can probably just go to the other one, right? But you need to decide which one you go first, if it even matters. But that doesn't happen until noon. Where do you guys stand at this point? Henry Powers is has left a message for who was there last night? Um, that would be playing today. Weaver? Because like that was Aaron's character. We can just say a message left for Weaver to talk to him again, or maybe like decide like what have you guys decided to do? Um, yeah, it is the next morning. Then, what do you guys want to do? You've got one murder case. You have the kidnapping of uh, El Manzour's son is still unsolved, and that one you're gonna have to wait on. You're gonna have to get more information to figure out what's going on with that one, right? Goose Wilson is still being held in town until Friday, then he's out of there until like the weekend anyway. Um, yeah. What routes are you gonna go down? Do you have questions or things? Because you guys are detectives. You're good at your jobs. There's been a lot to juggle. We've been doing this for 3 months, 2 months. And that's when the first clues started coming in. So there's a lot to handle.
Do we know anyone who has the ability to do possession? I don't think we do we?
You do not. You interviewed
Knew
Reese
somebody.
last session, thinking that he might have it because he was the closest
Yeah,
on the
Quake
diagram,
Islands.
on the Quake diagram, but he passed of not having it. What were we saying, Rachel? Or Night Nurse?
When I unmute, sorry, I accidentally discovered multiple desktops on my computer, and now I'm trying to figure out what the heck's happening. I like the feature, but suddenly it's like a new thing that I wasn't anticipating. So, I was gonna say exactly what you said, that we found somebody adjacent, but we didn't know anybody specifically with possession.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly right.
So that is something we'll need to figure out if we're actually going to solve Bambi's murder. Where did we stand on Allmancer's son getting kidnapped?
Just that he had gotten kidnapped.
Okay.
That's pretty much it. Got kidnapped from the orphanage, which is run by Mo Branson, who takes in mutant kids basically because they sometimes just get dumped on the streets. So he tries to like a foster home situation.
Do we know any of these players? Anybody with a wheelchair?
I mean, not not especially. No, no one that really sticks out. Now, I will go back to some clues that were found and then dropped uh, quite a bit ago at the beginning of this one. Is that the you guys talked to Jezebel? So she thinks the person who bought the Gimp mask, he said that he was at the gun show.
We haven't gone to the gun show yet, have we?
No.
We should probably go to the gun show. Oh, I got tickets right here.
All right, Dad.
Oh, I am.
There's also so that was one that you guys didn't follow up on. Um, you're waiting for the warrant gun show. You've talked to. Have you decided what you're gonna do about Henry Powers? Your decision at this point is to whether enter his name into this. If nothing else, he's guilty for conspiracy of the cover up. You know, not a huge charge, but it's something that might be enough to. I mean, that like you just do it that charge him for that. But you also know that he used to date Bambi, and that could get him kicked off the ticket. Which,
What does Hunt Masters mean?
boy, now I gotta remember where I told you guys that.
Yeah, I just have it right underneath Henry Powers, actor. Then Hunt Masters? Question mark.
Okay, yep. That's who he paid the money to.
And do we know
And
that is?
so, okay, so you know what? I have to retract this. Okay. And I hate to do this, but through different play testings, this has come out to be a better area. Okay. You, okay, so, Oh, yes, Hunt Masters. You do know, yes, you do remember Hunt Masters and remember how it works out timing wise. Uh, they're blackmailing Powers. They're saying that they have a picture of him and Bambi.
Yes. But didn't we have that? Did we find that picture? Is that part of Mammal Master? No?
King Rat had a
Right.
badly beaten up, chewed up thing that
But not for sure. So,
yeah.
and Hunt Masters is what kind of organization is it exactly?
You don't know. You haven't done any research on it yet.
I think that'd be a lovely place to start.
Yeah. Do some research on that.
Okay. What kind of skills?
Gun show is certainly someplace we need to check out too.
Do we want to keep Powers on the down low? We do owe Maria a favor. I feel like that would be a national news story she would be interested in.
That would pay off that favor immediately.
Does anyone have any objections to that? Are we trying to keep this on the DL? He's kind of a dick. I don't necessarily feel that bad about letting this out.
But he was Mr.
Agreed.
Charlie. He was Mr. Charlie. America loves him.
What was the name of the show?
Grading Mr. Charlie.
Which is our next RPG that we're going to put together. It's going to be
Okay, fantastic.
awesome.
Uh,
She seems to be your. Wait, is that? Am I talking to Hound still?
Did we go
oh
next
no.
day? I think we did.
Yeah, we're at the next day. So give me. Let's go around the circle and give me a description of your characters. First shifters. We'll call this the first shifters. So for the Hound. Let's start with.
Brickhouse.
Yep. Start with Brickhouse.
Uh, a lanky, 30-something Caucasian. He has a clean shirt. Probably pulled out of a drawer somewhere though. But he didn't get thrown up on yet. Uh, he usually wears aviators, but when he does it, you can see that his eyes are just pure white, no pupils. This has been a long ass 4 days for him. Definitely uh, drink that coffee. Uh, the yeah, the circles under his wide eyes, like he's even if he got some sleep, he got rest. He didn't get sleep probably, and he's pretty strung out right now and pissier than normal. So
I'm gonna go with Night Nurse.
Uh, excuse me, Night Nurse is very, very pale and skinny and kind of just a walking skeleton. Very pale, has dark circles under her eyes, dark, like sunken in cheeks, and long, very white hair. Uh, yeah, she looks a little worn out too. She's got some sleep. She is back to all her points, but she is still feeling it.
And we have someone with us here that's
Dark
normally
circles are a little darker than usual.
like ghoulish. You're just looking ghoulish now.
Yeah.
And
Like, oh, her eyes are like extra red. Like they're like super bloodshot compared to usual. Like they're always kind of bloodshot, but now they're like really red. It's really gross.
and we have with us with a different group dynamic here, someone that is normally shuttered away at second shift. We're just basically just got brought on a couple weeks ago, and they are and look like
Yeah, so my second character is Carl Walton. His code name is Bulwark. You know that he has force field as his ability. That's where he gets his nickname. He's a muscular, mid 40s Caucasian male with black hair, brown eyes, and as far as if you can tell he's a mutant or not, he does have what looks like a tattoo of a shield on one of his shoulders, but it just glows with a golden light at all times.
What's the code name again?
Bulwark.
Bulwark?
Mm-hmm.
Whoa. All right. All right. But you're all cops here. You're all professionals. You're all detectives, specialties in some area or another. Um, so you're discussing about doing research on the Hunt Master, see if there's anything you can find about them. You're also going to the gun show and figuring out whether to release the information to Maria. So let's start with Maria. That's an easy one. I think that's probably a simple yes or no. What do you do with that one? Do you ruin this man's career or do you keep it for a political favor for later?
I vote for ruin.
I think we want to keep her on our side, right? And keep our word. Yeah.
I would have been inclined to go political favor, but I am overruled.
Yep. And that
Outnumbered.
I love that idea that there's gonna be that contention point, right? So night nurse, you're like, no, it's important. Like just thinking long term within
Yeah.
for the benefit of this new project that we're working on, be good to have that political favor. That you're like, no, this person did something
Even
wrong.
if he's on the even if he's on a weird political spectrum, like ultimately he lives on our side. Question mark. He
I
doesn't
mean,
dislike us as a group.
yeah, I mean,
He
he doesn't hate mutants, right? He dated Bambi.
right. He just happens to be in a party that does.
He's just willing to sell us out for political power.
Yeah. And have you seen the show?
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't love
It's
that.
kitschy. It's nostalgic, but it's not good. Like the jokes are bad. People remember it, and they remember it fondly, but it's not a good show.
Yeah.
It's garbage humor, stupid plots. Come on.
It's like America's Tulpa. You're just like, oh yeah, that was great. But then you're like really start thinking about it, like,
Yeah.
wait, did I
No.
actually watch that show? I don't
Yeah.
really remember.
Mr. Belvedere. It's not a good show. It's not that funny.
It's just because it was the only thing on at 7 during that time. There weren't
Exactly.
many shows out.
He's a British butler, and that's it. That's the whole show.
So,
So yes.
spoiler alert for those that are under the age of 40.
If you love a good Bob Euchre sitcom, skip Mr. Belvedere. It sucks. All right.
That's so 7 o'clock is when we need to have our stuff go out. Then hopefully no one else is airing. Okay.
Hopefully.
Um, okay. So you're going to release that information to Maria Scoop Rodriguez. So she's going to be able to get that in the paper by tomorrow morning. Okay. They don't go to print till the next day. Sorry, but tomorrow morning it'll be fresh off the presses. Mr. Charlie, terrible person, involved in bad stuff. All right, that was simple. Looking up the huntsman. Uh, give me some skills, and I can just give you that information, and then we can go to the gun store, gun shop, gun
Uh,
On
thing
show,
show. That's the word.
would criminology work here if I wanted to look and see if they are like a criminal group that's known? Like, are they a known blackmailing group?
Um, yeah, I'm okay with that.
can I do
You
Streetwise? Is that sort of on the same wavelength if I do Streetwise?
Streetwise is let me check with Streetwise real quick. I don't know if that one will pop up what we're looking for, but it might. Which finds undefined unsafe location gathered in the world. That will not. That's more for tangible stuff that you can use while you're out on the street. This is more crime nerd. is actually what it says in the description. Identifying international criminals, connections, known suspects, identify cases, major criminals, federal and international enforcement agencies. That one might come in handy down the road. Yeah, I'm going to say that for the Huntsman, and you combine it with, you guys did, I'm pretty sure you guys did this, linked what you found at the crime scene at Bambi Calloway as being possibly occult related. So those two things together with the branding in her hand, you're like, okay, the Huntsman that tied with Saint Hubert, yeah, you think that there's through your criminology is that yeah, there's some sort of like mercenary group that goes by that uh, moniker. A lot of ex special forces units that they're tied with it.
Got it. And I was gone the week of the crime scene. I did not know there was a cult connection. Can I ask what was the occult connection?
Yeah, and we never really followed it very much. I have occult studies. Will that help? Can I throw this in here while you recap?
Yeah, totally. So there was to recap the crime scene just briefly. One of the couple of clues out there was like bottles of Jägermeister everywhere. The and then on her left palm was a brand of a cross into her left hand. And so you know that for the branding used in the occult, that is known as Saint Cuthbert's key. It was used to cure rabies in for dogs that might get sick. What they've what they didn't know, these idiots from the olden days, is that what they were doing, they were actually burning out the insects that were causing the rabies. And so like, oh, it just cures them. Wow, that's amazing. Like, no, actually, it's just killing the insects that are giving the rabies, or the rabies type symptoms. And so also with the taking of her antlers on there might be symbolic as well. Because the if you know what the symbol of the Jägermeister bottle is, that's also the same symbol of Saint Hubert.
Got it. Okay.
For whatever reason, we really sort of like dismissed the occult stuff early on.
It didn't make sense, and really, it it still doesn't make sense, right? It you feel like it might be just more of a theme that they're following, but who knows? I mean, you don't know who these guys are, you know.
So another place to check out. I have occult studies as a specialty. I could check out the cult of Saint Hubert if you want to focus on the what else we got?
The gun show, I suppose.
Gun show. Or we could both. Sorry, there are three of us. Night nurse is taking a massive dump right now. I'm sure, or she'd be here to talk with us. Hope she doesn't watch the tape later. Anyway, we could both do the occult thing and then both do the gun show, or we could split up, whatever.
I'm glad we're not
Yeah.
using our real names. Okay. Uh,
Use code names. Everything's fine. I met her character, not obviously my wife. The
right,
character.
of course. Her character. Her
Thank
character.
you.
Okay. Okay. Pretty simple then. Do you now here's part of the problem. How much do you remember of all the clues that you got from the different crime scenes, right? Like you went to the park last session. The original crime scene is from 2 sessions ago. So there's a lot of the information that's going to be put out there before we go to the gun show, or that would be useful before we go to the gun show. That being said, it is 9 o'clock Central Time, which we're all on Central Time at this point. Um, if we go to the gun show, we can certainly do that. This will be the last scene for the night. or we could just cut it off knowing that we're going into a big scene for the next time we get together in a couple weeks.
Do we save this for Aaron? Do we think that this is something that he might have a lot of insight on?
I mean, like here's the deal, right? So this is you're working on 3 to 4 different cases all at the same time, right? This is not the wrap up, but it's a big scene, certainly, right? And yeah, like you know it, you feel it in your bones. This is the gun show. What depending on what you do there, you might have to go back later or try and do something while you're there. Um, because the problem is you have to have motive, you have to have proof, and what's the other one? Motive, evidence, and accessibility, right? Placing them at the crime to get a good collar. So, so yeah, I got to figure that out, right? So, right, no, it's method, accessibility, motive. If you can prove all three of those, you can be like, you know, I want to arrest them with a totally clean conscience. Now, you can always try and arrest someone without all those things and just finger cross, white knuckle it that the prosecution can get something on him. Which I wish there was a role for that in this game. I wish there was a next because I feel like you guys, with the information that you have, you might like just like you know what, we're just gonna have Goose Wilson go to trial, and just like I don't know, maybe. But at this point, it'd be such a small percentage, right, that anyone would find him guilty. But it'd still be better than nothing. Um, so it's up to you guys what you want to do. What do you think? How do you feel? That's honestly the biggest question. How do you guys feel?
I think there's probably information at the gun show that will enlighten a lot of stuff. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? I don't feel confident in being able to act on it necessarily yet, right? Like I think we're gonna learn a bunch of stuff, like, oh, and then we're gonna want some time to be able to like, all right, how's that fit into the evidence that we know about? How does it fit into what we know? So like I'm great on the fact-finding mission. Uh if it's a scene that turns into like a big fight or a big chase, I would like to save that.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Okay.
feel like we're kind of at the conspiracy board stage where we've got a lot of, little pins on a wall connected by red tape, but we don't actually know what any of it really means. So, we could find something really conclusive there or find
Okay.
something that just leads us to other things that ties it together.
Okay.
So
So
yeah,
what?
if it's going to be something really big, I'd say we can wait on it. Let's get everyone here and roll on that.
Okay. Let's do this then, and actually I'll wait for Rachel to pop on. Let's do this. So let's stop for the night then, as far as continuing on with scenes that we're gonna act out in to figure out or to take actions in. Okay. That puts us at Thursday morning, which means that President elective hopeful, I should say, President elective Chelsea Teal is going to be here in 2 days. Like she's going to be here real soon, about a day and a half. So going to the gun show is 100% going to be not a game changer. Well, it might be a veritable game changer. Okay. So yes, we'll wait for that. Follow-up question. Honor bound playtesting is on hiatus until we get another person to jump in for it. Do we want to uh, try and get the next session of Mutant City Blues next Sunday? Is that something people want to try and push, or just leave it for a 2 week time period?
Let me check my
I'll
calendar.
probably be driving next week.
Oh,
But I'm happy to jump on. And it'd be like whenever. So I will be leaving Indianapolis at approximately sometime between noon and 1. It's a 6-hour drive.
Yeah, it's a
I'll
6-hour
be back
drive,
sometime
man.
around 7. Yeah.
Would
So
would you even want to
either,
play
I
though?
mean, I will stop and I will probably need. Well, the thing is, if I'm still on the road, honestly, playing will probably be awesome and give me something to put my brain on. So when I get back, maybe not so much.
Well,
I
that's
anticipate if I leave at 1 and I stop a few times, like I will be driving until 8 or 8:30 or 9. Like, so like honestly, at that point, I will be like, I am so close to home and I just need something to focus on. So like, it might be awesome.
okay. Okay.
Either way is fine with me. That's where I will be. I will probably be driving. Won't be able to look at my character for my abilities, but I will do my best to look at them ahead of time so I know what I can do and can't do.
Okay. Jordan, Eric, how does it look for you guys?
Yeah, that worked for me. So we can do 2 weeks, or if everyone's on for next week, I'm okay.
My wife was gone, so we could have a big party, but I guess I could play this
Ah,
instead.
That's where we're playing.
Sure.
that's
You
right.
have Friday and Saturday to have parties, Eric.
I had a
Staying up
big
till
plan for a
Sunday
Sunday night
too.
party, but that's all right.
So it sounds like we're all going over to Eric's instead of playing next Sunday.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hey.
Yeah. Yeah. Aaron's gonna
Yeah.
come over from Michigan.
You could, and then just have Aaron. Yeah, Aaron's gonna
Have
drive from
Aaron meet
Michigan.
Rachel in Indianapolis, and she can just drive over
I was
here.
just gonna say that.
That's
Aaron can
perfect.
come to Indianapolis. He and I will drive, and then it'll be great.
Perfect. Um,
Good.
all right. So I'll run this by Aaron to see if he wants to play next
Yeah.
Sunday for Mutant City Blues. I would imagine he would be up for it, I would think. Okay. So then Action C's done. We're gonna get together next week to do the gun show, the big reveal gun show scene. Which I found out I needed to buff up. So I did run the gun show scene with the other playtest group, as the one-shot version of this. And they almost one-shotted everyone. Now, the dice were crazy, and I get crazy dice, but it was like, all right, this is going to be kind of the big reveal. Let's figure out what we can do here. And it was like, oh, okay, well, you know what? Our time was coming up short anyway, so why don't we just be done here? That's cool. So if you guys could give me like 10 or 15 more minutes, there is so much going on in this. Like you were talking about having those pins in the wall and the red yarn being tied to other things. Um, what what do you think is going on? Is it way too overwhelming? Does it feel okay? And I know a big part of it is getting together every couple weeks or even a month. There was a month stretch there at one point in time to try and remember all the clues. But do you think there's a mastermind behind everything? Do you think these are just building up cases to something big later on? Or what is your little conspiracy brains thinking at this point?
What you just threw out, I feel like they're maybe not linked, but there will be a big finale scene. Like if I'm thinking of like mystery shows I've watched or mystery books I've read, like they're separate but leading to a climax.
Yeah, because one nice thing
There's
here,
one big bad that links all of it. Yeah.
yeah, there's one nice thing here is that I forgot Thursday morning I get to hand you guys another case too.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think gun show will still probably be the right idea, but okay. So you're thinking just kind of a build up. What is it? What are other people thinking about this?
I don't see a connection with the Eschering family and Bambi right now. And that's what I would expect to be able to see if they were linked. Um, the Bambi stuff is way more, I don't know, it feels like we're missing something. Uh, but I don't see an immediate connection between this and the other case right now.
other
Yeah,
than what oh, go ahead, Jordan. Sorry.
no, go ahead. Say what you're gonna say.
Oh, I was just gonna say, like, connection I see is like the things going on in the town. Like, there are reasons these things are happening related to this convention, but it's not like they're directly linked to like
No
same
evidence.
players involved in all of the things. But
Yeah.
out this convention, these things may not be happening.
Let's say I'd be
Yeah,
surprised. I'd be surprised to see that they are not connected.
Mm.
They should be probably, but I don't see any connection yet, and that's what bothers
yeah. I feel like there's someone who's trying to cause unrest with like the whole Goose Wilson thing, where we never really did catch the person who set that all in motion. You know, that case got squashed by the feds, and now we're looking for someone who possessed, a police officer to cause unrest kind of in the different direction rather than through the Federalist, through, a mutant getting killed by another mutant. And it seems like someone's trying to stir something up, but yeah, I have no idea what could link these together at this point. There's no smoking gun or even any halfway solid leads that would connect them together. So I could see them being completely different. It feels like they probably are, but yeah, that's just kind of a gut feeling.
me. Jared, how many sessions of Mutant City Blues do you think we have till we're at the end?
Well,
Ballpark.
I feel without doing Act 3, we could get everything done in 2 without doing Act 3.
What,
To,
what does Act 3 do?
well, I'm going to tell you how Act 1 starts right now to kind of get you thinking about this a little bit. Um, Big Trouble tries to storm the police station while you guys are leaving in the morning, demanding to release KO Boomer. And you're like, no, we cut KO Boomer loose yesterday. Like, we haven't had him for a day.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she's like, well, I haven't,
Great.
he didn't come home.
This is our new case this morning.
Yeah.
Great. Listen,
So,
I have a good history with Boomer, so I'm sure it'll be fine. I'll figure this out. Yikes. All right.
so like that, if we throw in that for the part 3, that 3 to 4 more sessions, I would think. Now, one thing that we have to take into consider here, though, is that our sessions are about an hour and a half to 2.5 hours. They're not normal length sessions, and that's something I need to remember too. Because, like, if we got together in the same room for like a day, like we would knock out most of it. Yeah.
Okay.
Like I like for sure the Bambi stuff would get solved. That one for sure would be solved. And then I think the Goose Wilson stuff would be pretty much taken care of. The only hard part about that one is reintroducing the clues, the like where you're supposed to go, which I'll do a write up for that to remember to remind you of like this is all happened in 3.5 days. Like your detectives wouldn't have forgotten this stuff.
Right. I think that we should. I mean, I don't think we should dump Honor Bound into the middle of this. I think we should just play through Mutant City Blues if that works for what you want to get done, Jared.
Honestly, it might. I am writing up the
Yeah.
restructuring it to go from here's what Honor Bound looks like for one shots, and then a secondary book doing here's what it is for campaign stuff. So I don't have the campaign written as of yet. I've got a great skeleton already written out for what I want it to be. Um, and then the campaign rules are pretty good, but not 100% solidified. So that might be the way to do it. Just finish out, like go for a month and finish Mutant City Blues.
Yeah. If Jordan
So
can play every week.
yeah, if
Yeah, I
Jordan can
should be
make
able to
it.
do that. Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, it's long term, probably I couldn't do every single week, but if we've got like 3 to 4 more sessions, yeah, well, that'll be perfectly fine.
Okay. Okay. Then I will send out an email then that floating this idea about, hey, let's just try and get this done. And also, like, if we do 2 in a row and we need to take a break for whatever reason, that's fine too. I don't. This isn't hardcore, so
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
but unfortunately, the game makes it hardcore because I want to remember what the hell's going on.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
in a good way.
Yeah.
Like I feel better about playing the game when I remember what happened.
Yeah. I feel like it would make it easier to play as well if we could just play every week.
Yeah, especially when it's switching between characters and trying like there's
Multiple
a
plots.
time crunch and many plots and yeah, like I
But
said, this
just
is
doing it 1 week at a time, though, with I mean, we can switch characters all we want.
yeah,
That's not as big a problem as just remembering what the hell's going on. If we just really each week continue it, I think we'll do better. I think we'll remember better.
Yeah.
So I'll
yeah.
go with that if we can.
Okay. Sounds good. I'll send out an email. Thanks everyone. I had a lot of fun again. That was
Yeah.
um I didn't know that the vigil was going to take that long, but I probably should have had a good idea that it was going to. I mean, it's a pretty dramatic moment, right? There's a lot of stuff happening there. Could have gotten much worse. Um, I loved making the deal with Scoop. That's a good one. And yeah, I think it was good. We got some good clues, got some stuff. We know exactly where we're going starting off next week too. So
Yep.
awesome.
Anytime we can cause a earthquake and sick rabid geese on people, it's a win in my book.
It was amazing. I loved it so much. All right, guys. Have a good
See you
night.
guys.